Hi everyone, it's Phil here from Harvington Hall, and today we are going to be showing you Harvington Hall's attics. Now, if you haven't seen the attics in person before, unfortunately you're not going to have that chance again because we're not going to be allowed to bring the public up here in future. So I thought I would show you via video, so follow me and let's go and take a look. So here we are in Harvington Hall's attics. Excuse those noises, you hear those banging noises, that is the fire doors closing behind me. So what you'll see here, firstly, if I pan the camera down to the right hand side there, you will notice a mannequin, half a mannequin, looking over a bit of perspex. And that mannequin is looking down over the false fireplace in the marble room directly below. So that is actually an escape route. So the priest will escape up into the attic, up through there, probably make his way through whatever doorway would have been there, and then up through a trap door that I will show you from the other side, but it's just through that glass window there. And then he'll go through a doorway above there. But one thing you will notice now, there is no ceiling, there's no plaster above my head, but you can see some old nails in there, look. So of course you'd have seen where the lath and plaster would have been. And if I pop the camera up there, there you will see the walkway. You'll see a doorway in front there, and there's a doorway even beyond that one, which is taking you into a very large priest hide. So set the scene now, the priest is in the attic and he's walking above our heads. Very quickly, I would have thought as well, if the priest hunters were downstairs. And then here you come through, you'll notice we have still a bit of the ceiling in here. But there you'll notice a whacking great big hole. Now that hole would not have been there during those times. You can see where the plaster's been removed because you can see what it looks like on the other side. But if I pop the camera into here, now ladies and gentlemen, you are looking at the second largest priest hide in England. It is 12 foot wide, 17 foot long, and 7 foot at its highest point. Now it is a hiding place. You've got some original boards there. You also have some wood in there, which I'm guessing is probably for insulation, something like that. And this is above the priest's room downstairs. You will notice if you visit the hall, the ceiling in that room is taller than the others on the upper floor, and that's because this space is above it. If I bring the camera out here though, and pan up to the doorway, where my finger is, oh there it is, pointing there, you can see where they would have been able to have closed the door shut through there. Not a bad space room, is it? Pretty big. Pretty big. So, turning back on ourselves. Some more to show you. The attics are very confusing. It's very confusing at the best of times when you are downstairs. So the attics are very confusing. Again, look, just all these old bits of lath, look. We also have graffiti, and I'll show you bits of it as we go around. There's a bit here, Harold Walker his name is. This is the oldest one I found. It's 1812. Still very clear. The graffiti up here isn't necessarily people that lived here. These are people, when the house was pretty much in a derelict state, these are people just coming into the attics and graffitiing and very kindly putting their name and their date. So James Beard, I think that one is 1894. But this is an interesting little space because you have doors coming off in all directions. You have a door in front there, a door to the left, and you have a doorway to the right that says no entry, emergency exit only. And I can assure you, if it was a case of an emergency, I still would not come through this doorway. This is the top of the Newell staircase, or the continuation of the Newell staircase up here into the attic. And these floorboards are very fragile, and a lot of them have Elizabethan Elizabethan paintings underneath the steps. If you haven't checked it out, please check out our Newell staircase video, and you can see that in a bit more detail. But you'll see just another little bit of the attic. It's quite fascinating, it really is. So if I come back out, and again you just see some graffiti on the walls. Lots of writing. Can't necessarily see what these say, but just names and dates and what have you. You just look at this wall. This wall is fascinating. Look at that there. All the plaster's cracked. Look, you can see how everything slopes as well. Look, you can see how it all slopes. The top of the doorway there. Just look at the slope on that. Interesting. So if we make our way just through this section, please excuse the mess up here. It will need to be emptied out at some point. But just look at these walls. Original plasterwork, look. More graffiti. Someone called James there, I mentioned this on a post not long ago, practicing his signature. There's a lot of those fancy J's going on there. But if I pop the camera just up there, you will notice another doorway with the light on. That, again, is another hide. Now, we can't say for sure that's a priest hide. That could be a vestment hide for hiding the priest's vestments. But still, it's a hiding place and one of the 7 that we have here at the hall. Taking the camera back round, that section there, that square or rectangular section, is the trap door where the priest would escape up there, and then he'd find himself on that walkway that we showed you at the very start of this. So, some lovely Elizabethan timbers here. You'll see it better from the other side, but we're going to go through this door. Another door that says, please do not go through this door. So what are we doing? We're going through it. So you come to like a little long corridor here. There's a staircase down there, which is too dodgy to walk on again. And then just pan the camera around to the right. You've got that section going over there. I'm going to pre-warn you, the fire door does make a big bang here. There we go. But if we look out, just so you can get your bearings, if you have been here before, you are looking over the courtyard now. This is where you would first come into the hall. We've got some fishermen over there as well, fishing the moat. But just to point out here, directly in front, where that kind of, almost like a little stable kind of building over there, you would have had a building there, and a building just to the left down there, which would have probably been the Great Hall down there. So this courtyard, once upon a time, would have had buildings all the way around it. If I very gingerly come down over these very dodgy floorboards, you've got to be very careful, they're very soft. There's a staircase there, which comes off the Great Staircase, and I will show you that from downstairs in a moment. Here you've got this very big beam, which is probably going into the wing of the house that no longer exists. You can see it's cut off halfway there. You'll find in the attic as well just loads of old timbers. Just lots of them. Don't know where they're from, what they were for. Just lots of old timbers. And behind me here, a lot more modern graffiti. 1995, look, 1956. So within the last 60 odd years or so, we have workmen up here, writing their names and what have you. So just pop back through. Yeah, and this is where you get a good glimpse of these Elizabethan timbers. You can see they're starting to rot there, some of them. Well, looks like woodworm's been having a go anyway. There. So, and again, there you have, look, some original lath and plaster. All fascinating stuff. So back through the very wonky doorway. So that little hide I showed you there, I'll show where it goes. So into this next room, and above you will notice all of this stretch of ceiling above here is where the hide is. But the hide only goes to about halfway. It doesn't continue to the end wall. Now the reason is, you didn't like your priest hides being on the external wall of the house because they are more easily found. So the priest is going to be checking more the ends or the end of the house as opposed to kind of more central. We have another wall over there full of graffiti. And this section down here, where you can see like a Velux window there on the left-hand side. Now, there used to be, and we know it was there because we've got photographic evidence of it, there used to be another gable going from here into the attic of the large chapel, that section of the attic no longer exists. So if you're in the large chapel now, you can't get into that attic space. So the priest would escape, we think, above the large chapel door, and then comes through there, and then finds himself in the this part of the attic. And then he gets the chance to either go in the hide above, if it is big enough for a man, or he goes to that very large one that we saw before. But a few weeks ago, I'll be interested to see what you guys think on this one, because I noticed a lot of this plasterwork is people have been using candles to write things on. And correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sure that says 1737. If I can point this with my finger and keep this on here, 1, 7, 3, 7. I think it's a 7, but it looks like 1730 something. And underneath it, you've got W, M, 1 or I, S or 5. What do you think about that? Does it look like 1737, or is that just my eyes? It's definitely a W and an M. So yeah, very interesting. There again. Oh, that looks like SG, does it? T, JB or TB, something like that. Anyway, sort of going off topic there, but it's very interesting all the same. You will notice how much this slopes now. You probably can't tell on the video, but this really slopes from here going downwards. So very carefully, that's the attic. Let's try and get out of here without banging our head. It's very easy to do so here. So let's get the torch somewhere in my face so you can see me. So what I'm going to do now is show you the rotten staircase, the staircase that I said that I'm going to show you from downstairs. So follow me and let's go and take a look at that. So out we go. I'm blinding myself with the torch. Let me turn this round. The beauty of doing a video on a whim and not actually planning it. So back down we go. Oh, fire door closing. We swing a left here. So priest hide underneath the stairs here. We're now on the great staircase. But this section here, I've opened this door, look, and there you will see some more stairs. Now I'm sure visitors and probably some of our tour guides have never seen this open. Certainly the public have never seen this open, I wouldn't have thought, but very exciting to see this open. Now these stairs, as you can see, they're pretty dodgy. So you shouldn't really stand on them, he says, as he steps on a couple of them. Just very carefully, just so I can show you what's going on around there. See, there we go, back up into the attic. And you've also got, I mean, some loads of graffiti on this bit, just writing. You've got F.W. Gardner, August 9th, 1904. You've got Robert E. Stevens, 1940. Georgie, 1940. You've also got this one. I've got to be very careful. And I noticed this yesterday. And is that a date or is that something else? But it looks like 1660. Now, is that a measurement or is that actually a date or something? I honestly don't know, but I'm sceptical to think it is an actual date. But if it is, then that's absolutely incredible. There you go, 1906. Leslie Lewis, look, 19th of June, 1930. That's still very clear considering that's 90 years old. So there we have it. That is the attic. And this slight little staircase that comes off it. I hope you enjoyed that, everybody. And yeah, if you'd like to see more of these videos, then please comment below and say you would like to see more. But until next time, everybody, stay safe and goodbye.